But the naming scheme, guys, the naming scheme! You can't have a product called the Nothing Ear, and then Nothing Ear 2, and then follow it up with the Nothing Ear, and then Nothing Ear A.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Everybody makes mistakes. The biggest problem that this caused is when people are searching online to buy the product, they can't find the right product, which hurts our business. So that's the main thinking behind maybe that this was not the right choice.
More than just a theme on your desktop, there's kind of similar to Carl Pei's previous employer, OnePlus.
I mean, I don't know why I coughed. It's not necessarily inspiration from OnePlus, it's just that we have a lot of the people who built Oxygen working on Nothing OS. So there was no specific thing to look at what they did and copy. It's just what we felt was good.
And I think this is a really good opportunity, now that this company has had 3 whole phone releases, to decide, is what they're doing actually achieving their goal? Can using a Nothing phone improve your life, make you a more present person? Or are these really just basic phones, but with batty designs for people who are happy to sacrifice value to be different?
I think to answer this question, we need to take a step back. In our minds, we need to have a map almost of how doing this will lead to that. Then doing that will eventually get us closer to the goal. Everybody else in the smartphone space is operating at 100 million devices a year. We crossed the 1 million a year mark this year, but we're still like 50 to 100 times smaller than everybody else. So when it comes to delivering value, we have to pay way more for our components, and that hinders us to grow. This is the problem that we have to solve first. We have to grow into one of the biggest smartphone companies in the world before we can more aggressively pursue this other vision.
On Nothing OS 2.6 though, the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth boxes grow bigger for no reason at all and take 1/3 of the screen, and there are only 6 more settings available to you with every swipe. And where is brightness? Oh, I thought that was a slider or divider or something. Nobody should have to press on something to figure out what they are.
This one we agree with, and we've addressed it in 3.0, but it was completely unrelated to this video. I think the main thing for quick settings is that we have a good information density, meaning that if you swipe on one screen, you can have enough things to do there, versus the 2 big boxes taking up a lot of space and not being very functional.
But this was a good opportunity for me to see how convenient monochromatic icons are when it comes to actually using them. You might think monochromatic icons make it easier to navigate because they're consistent, but they're not.
Our goal with it is to make your smartphone experience more intentional. You go to the apps you're really looking for instead of by accident automatically going to social media. You unlock your phone, you want to do something, but oh, there's this blue Facebook icon, let me just click it and see what's new. We wanted to avoid that. If we missed something from a functional perspective and it's important to the users, we should listen to that more. If it's aesthetics feedback, I think we should consider that less, because I think we already have one of the best design teams in the world when it comes to these type of products. Could we learn? Could we get better? Yes, maybe, sure. But usually the people giving feedback on aesthetics are not as strong as the folks we have internally. So it doesn't mean that they're not going to have good things to say, but it just means that the bar is a lot higher and we need to filter a lot more strictly when it comes to that kind of feedback.
Cable is, transparent USB-C. Cool, man. I'll give it to you, Carl. This is nice. The exterior box is alright, the interior box is really nice. I'm gonna do that a 9 on 10, dude.
It's okay. I would have given this an 8. On the charger in the box, I think we learned something here. So our rationale was, hey, it's already 2024 and a lot of people have smartphones and they already have chargers. So why do we have to put it in the box and increase the price of the overall product versus just, people can use whatever they have already. If you look at our users, we have some really young users. Maybe it is one of their first smartphones and they don't have the charger already. I think the best solution is not to bundle it in the box, but to have it as a soft bundle, meaning like when you buy it, you can also choose to buy the charger at a reduced price. I think that's the best of both worlds.
So I've been using the CMF Phone 1 for the better part of about a week now, and to be honest, it feels just like I'm using a Nothing phone, which is a compliment. Matter of fact, it's literally running Nothing OS 2.6, and aside from the light up Glyph interface, it's not missing a single feature that the more premium Nothing phones actually have.
Even if it's a more budget-focused product, it still has to be the best product within that price range. Meaning if you take the CMF Phone 1 and other potential products that people who buy the CMF Phone 1 would be considering, we still have to be really proud about our offering compared to the others. No matter what product we put out there, we want to invest the utmost care and love to try and make it as good as possible.
I do really wish, since you can take the back off, I wish they let you swap out the battery.
That's what number one comment
are saying. That would have been a huge opportunity for them. I wonder why they didn't do that.
These lithium batteries, they're great, but if there's a slight dent in them, they will explode. So if you're gonna make a removable battery, there needs to be so much reinforcement material around it, which limits the amount of space you can have for the real battery. So either your phone gets thicker, heavier, or your battery capacity is less. But soon, EU will force everybody to do it, so we'll see what happens then.
Today I'm toying with a phone that's also a comb, and a Lego base plate, and an ice cream sandwich. It's also a fully functioning dart blaster.
Yes, some of these are really cool.
And a Picatinny rail platform, and a secret credit card holder.
I like the Nerf gun. I think that will be useful in office. I'll probably print this one out, actually. Pretty cool. It's like the phones of the olden days, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. What's this? Slicer. I don't know why anybody would need this, but it looks interesting. I think these are really fun and cool, but it would be great if it could be a bit more practical. I don't really know what to do with this.
Speaking of CMF Phone 1, we're giving away 10 to 10 lucky subscribers. To enter, make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment below. If you missed the last giveaway, make sure you hit the bell so you know when the next giveaway drops. Back to Carl.
If you look at the SIM card tray, you can see the little minimalist dot theme that makes up the rest of the UI. Nothing's attention to detail is seriously unmatched. Plus, this battery has the same dotted branding that we see all over the UI and the SIM card tray. Nothing is consistent. And by nothing, I mean everything nothing does is consistent both inside and out.
I don't think anybody has asked the team to do this, but because we're building a very special type of company and the people who join us are very excited about building great products, cool stuff like this just happens. Like the Pokemon example from a year and a half ago. I didn't know that was a plan, but it was like a pleasant surprise.
Using this phone has made me feel like we might be starting to reach the limit of what you can do with LEDs.
There's a lot of debates about the usefulness of the Glyph interface. Some people will like it, some people say it's not useful. I still think we haven't completely solved the problem where the users seem to be the product for a smartphone rather than the product being the product. Glyph interface is one way we're gonna solve this, but there's also other stuff we're cooking up. Yeah, that's fair. Necessary, but a bit cringe. It takes time to develop something. So when it's developed, we launch it, and that's why it's staggered. But I've actually seen 2A buyers be happy about the 2A Plus because they think the 2A is a better value. I've also seen 2A Plus users believe that the 2A Plus is a better value. So I think that's kind of the sweet spot, right? Where nobody is unhappy. People who say that they're unhappy on the comments are basically bystanders, meaning they're just kind of flaming without being customers. So that's also fine, and we should, ignore those people. I think, because I was one of those people who flamed people online when I was younger on forums, so I know my type. It's pretty funny. I like the meme. It's a little bit old. What it's saying is not true because there's a lot of people who bought the Phone 1 who are super happy with Nothing OS and the support we were giving them. It's just a very small portion of people who believe this is fact, but it's not the reality. I would personally love a small phone, like a 6.3 or 6.2, but once we get much bigger as a company, then we can consider other form factors, because today if we made a small phone, it's not going to sell enough to be profitable. Let's just make it bigger, and then we'll see what happens. I think this is a very fair question. This person should have a little bit of patience to see what we actually are planning to build and launch before deciding whether they're in or out. Yeah, technology has set up a lot of artificial barriers between us and other people and the things we want to do. One example in the Nothing OS 3 video that we released recently was we have this concept of passive social through our widgets. I might have a great friend. We have each other's pedometers, so I can see how many steps he or she is walking, and we can compete against each other. That experience makes us feel closer to the people around us. At its core, technology has to serve humans and not the other way around. That's what we firmly believe in, but we need some time before we can ship this out, and you can see.
Phones are just boring. And it's not about this phone or this phone. iPhones are boring. Samsung phones are boring. Do I need to mention any other brand? No, because there's no place for any other brand on the market. These are the top 10 best-selling smartphones in the world in 2022. 8 iPhones, 2 Samsung phones. That's it.
Right now we're in the smartphone cycle, and smartphones are not very different from each other, but if you think about 2 adjacent cycles, the feature phone cycle and the smartphone cycle, then the products are very different, right? So you could have said the same thing during Nokia and BlackBerry's heyday. Oh, it's so boring, nobody cares, there's only Nokia and BlackBerry, and then everything changed. And you can imagine a future where everything changes again very quickly. I had fun. I think we should do it more often.
Maybe when Phone 3 comes out?
Yeah, let's do it.
And that comes out when?